Hello and welcome to CVR News Network, and you're watching CVR English World 360, and I'm Sandeep. At least 51 people were killed in a terror attack that happened in Pakistan's Balochistan on August 26th, with 35 vehicles set ablaze. In a major turn of events, separatist militant attacked vehicles from buses to goods trucks on a major highway and also targeted police stations, railway lines. As per the media, on the night of August 25th, armed men blocked highway, marched passengers off the vehicles and shot them after checking their identity cards. As Pakistan witnessed it's one of the deadliest attacks, the separatist group Balochistan Liberation Army BLA took the responsibility for the largest attacks. The terrorist attack was condemned by President Asif Ali Zardari and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. The latest attack follows a similar incident from April this year, where 9 passengers were shot dead after gunmen checked their ID cards. Additionally, in October 2023, unidentified gunmen fatally shot 6 laborers hailing from Punjab in Derbent in Balochistan, Keech district. The United Kashmir People's National Party held its annual Central Convention in Kotli area of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Key issues addressed included human rights violations, development challenges, and the misuse of territory for terrorism. UK PNP leader claimed that Islamabad is orchestrating genocide in POJK by deploying forces that have resulted in the deaths of local youths. Hussain vowed to continue the struggle against the puppet authorities in POJK and to fight for equality, freedom and democracy in the region.
People's National Party held its annual Central Convention in the Kotli area of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Key issues addressed included human rights violations, development challenges, and the misuse of the territory for terrorism. UK PNP leader claimed that Islamabad is orchestrating genocide in POJK by deploying forces that have resulted in the deaths of local youths. Hussain vowed to continue the struggle against puppet authorities in POJK and to fight for equality, freedom and democracy in the region. During the convention, UK PNP leaders organized a major rally in the Thora region of POJK. Hundreds of locals joined, protesting against the Pakistani administration. Demonstrators carried banners and chanted slogans to voice their demands and grievances. He previously criticized Pakistan's decision, authorized by Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi, to deploy security forces in POJK. They argued this action aimed to suppress the local rights movement and was a betrayal of the Kashmiri people. The UK PNP contended that Pakistan's presence in Kashmir is both illegitimate and unjustified. The United Kashmir People's National Party held its annual Central Convention in the Kotli area of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Key issues addressed included human rights violations.
The Balochistan government has imposed a 90-day ban on the entry of the Pashtun Tahfiz movement PTM leader Manzoor Pashtun into the region, the Balochistan Post reported. The notification issued by the Balochistan Home Department stated that the current ban on Pashtun will restrict his entry into Balochistan until November 20 this year. Mr. Narendra Modi and United States President Joe Biden held a telephonic conversation on August 26. Both the leaders exchanged views on major regional and global issues. During his conversation with Biden, Prime Minister Modi discussed the recent visit to war-torn Ukraine and his meeting with President Zelensky. The Prime Minister reiterated India's full support for early return of peace and stability in Ukraine. Prime Minister Modi, Biden also addressed the political instability and security concerns related to Hindus in Bangladesh. They stressed on the need for early restoration of normalcy and ensuring the safety and security of minorities, especially Hindus in Bangladesh. Notably, Prime Minister Modi visited Ukraine on August 23rd, the first by an Indian Prime Minister to the European nation. A 102-year-old British woman, Manette Bailey, celebrated her birthday by throwing herself out of a small plane to skydive over Suffolk, England. The fearless centenarian, who was married to a paratrooper, served in the Women's Royal Navy Service (WRENS) during the World War II. After completing the 7,000 feet jump, Bailey becomes the Britain's oldest skydiver. It was not her first time seeking the thrill and challenge of a high speeds. To mark her 100th birthday, she drove a racing car at 130 miles per hour, equivalent to 209 km per hour. Baile's parachute jump was undertaken to raise money for charity. As soon as she landed, she was asked how it was, and she replies, "Oh, it was wonderful," and totally composed.
It's wonderful.
And it's got like a seatbelt.
Good job, how was that?
Oh, that was wonderful.
Well done, congratulations, you've just jumped out of an airplane.
That's wonderful.
And it's got like a seatbelt.
Former US President and the Republican presidential candidate Trump was endorsed by Tulsi Gabbard, a 17-year veteran of Hawaii Army National Guard, former four-term Congresswoman and former Democratic presidential candidate. He said that, "I'm confident that his first task will be to do the work and to walk us back from the brink of war," said Tulsi.
I'm honored to officially welcome another true American patriot, a 17-year veteran of the Hawaii Army National Guard, a four-term Democrat Congresswoman, very, very popular, the former vice chair of the National Democratic Party and a 2020 Democrat candidate for the United States presidency. You know, she was a very good candidate. Every time she ran, she was good. She did well. She decided to leave. She couldn't take it anymore, but she is very special. And I didn't know this, but she was a lieutenant colonel. That's not bad. Lieutenant colonel. Not bad. I didn't know that. You know, I just found out. I said, put it down. You got to put that down. That's bigger. That's better than all the other stuff I read. But no, she's a special person. She's got great common sense, great spirit. She loves our country, and she loves the people in this room. Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Aloha. I know we got Hawaii in the house here. There we go. It is a privilege to be here with all of you, my brothers and sisters in uniform, especially on this day of all days. I had the privilege of joining President Trump this morning at Arlington Cemetery, where he joined two Gold Star families and loved ones of Staff Sergeant Hoover and Sergeant G, both of whom were two of the 13 killed in the Abbey Gate attack 3 years ago today in Kabul. And I can tell you, as we were there, as he laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier, joining these Marines' loved ones, I felt the sorrow that he shared with them in their loss. I felt and saw his sincere appreciation for these servicemen and women who paid the ultimate price, and their loved ones who continue to grieve to this day. This is personal for me, as I know it is for so many of you here. This is real.
And today I'm honored to officially welcome another true American patriot.
Donald Trump on Monday tied Vice President Kamala Harris to the chaotic Afghanistan war withdrawal on the third anniversary of the suicide bombing that killed 13 U.S. service members, calling the attack a humiliation in the U.S. history. Trump, the Republican presidential nominee, laid wreaths at Arlington National Cemetery in the honor of Nicole G. and other staff members who were killed alongside with more than 100 Afghans in the August 26, 2021 suicide bombing at Hamid Karzai International Airport. He then traveled to Michigan to address the National Guard Association of the United States conference.
Three-year anniversary of the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Kamala and Crooked Joe's catastrophic withdrawal from Afghanistan has just been horrible for all of us. 3 years ago, Kamala and Biden's incompetence left 13 dead warriors, hundreds of civilians killed and grievously wounded, and $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment on the planet abandoned to the Taliban, right into the hands of the Taliban. It also left 45 incredible soldiers so badly wounded, the legs, the arms, the face, obliteration. As Vice President, Kamala bragged that she was the last person in the room. She was the tough one. She was the last person in the room during that disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan decision. She repeatedly praised the decisions, and she said it led to a catastrophe, but it was worth it. The incompetence and weakness on display from the Biden-Harris administration was an insult to every soldier, sailor, airman, and Marine who ever served in our U.S. military. As we mark this horrible occasion, we mourn with the families of the great American heroes who lost their lives 3 years ago, and we vow to never forget the supreme sacrifice they made for our country. America cannot afford 4 more years of Kamala Harris in the White House. She is a disaster. She's a radical Marxist. She destroyed San Francisco. She destroyed the state of California. Everything in her way she destroyed. She ran against Crooked Joe Biden and she lost. She was the first one out of 22 people. She was the first one to quit.
Kamala Harris was part of the incompetence and failure that led to the unnecessary deaths of the young men and women tragically killed.
Afghanistan.
Yes.
Were you the last person in the room?
Yes.
And you feel comfortable?
I do.
But the tragedy for the families of these 13 fallen Marines didn't end there. To this day, Biden and Harris have refused to even say the names of these fallen soldiers who gave their lives for their country. But they will never silence these Gold Star families.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Gold Star families.
In the nearly 3 years since Hunter's been gone, there has been silence. Silence from that empty space at the dinner table where Hunter would have joined his brothers and sister and us for family gatherings. And there has been a deafening silence from the Biden and Harris administration. Despite our pleas for answers and accountability, they have pushed us away and tried to silence us.
As Commander-in-Chief, President Trump always had his soldiers and their families' backs, and always will.
I'm Christy Shamblin. My daughter-in-law, Sergeant Nicole Leanne G. United States Marine, and she was killed at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan, alongside 12 of her brothers and sister-in-arms. Donald Trump spent 6 hours in Bedminster with us. He allowed us to grieve. He allowed us to remember.
Kamala Harris was part of the incompetence and failure that led to the unnecessary deaths of the young men and women tragically killed.
Afghanistan. Yes. Were you the last person in the room? Yes.
As NASA and its partners continue to conduct groundbreaking research aboard the International Space Station, the agency announced on Monday it is seeking U.S. industry, academia, and international partners and other stakeholders' feedback on newly developed goals and objectives that will help guide the next generation of human presence in low Earth orbit.
The clock is operating. We're underway. The clock is operating. We're underway. Roger, 0G. The clock is operating. We're underway.
And that's the end of the World 360. I'm Sandeep signing off, and keep watching CVR News English.